Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and vast forests, there lived a kind-hearted young woman named Alara. She was the daughter of a once wealthy merchant, but after her mother's death, her father remarried a woman named Gilda, who had two daughters of her own, Olivia and Isolda. These sisters were cruel and vain, treating Alara like little more than a servant, forcing her to clean the house, do all the chores, and wear ragged clothes. Despite the mistreatment, Alara never let bitterness take root in her heart. She remained gentle, kind, and hopeful, often singing songs to herself as she worked, her voice a beautiful melody that carried on the wind. One day, an invitation arrived from the royal palace. The king was hosting a grand ball to celebrate the prince's birthday, and every maiden in the kingdom was invited. Alara's stepsisters squealed with delight, dreaming of the prince choosing them for a dance, while Alara quietly kept her hopes low, knowing she would never be allowed to go. On the night of the ball, as her sisters dressed in beautiful gowns and adorned themselves with jewels, Alara was left to scrub the floors in the kitchen. Tears filled her eyes, but she swallowed her sorrow and continued her work. That's when, out of nowhere, her fairy godmother appeared. She was a gentle woman, with eyes as sparkling as the stars, and with a smile that radiated warmth. "Why are you so sad, my dear?" asked the fairy godmother. "I wish I could go to the ball," Alara sighed. "But I have nothing to wear, and my stepmother would never allow it." With a wave of her wand, the fairy godmother transformed Alara's tattered dress into a gown of shimmering silver, embroidered with soft gold threads that caught the light like moonbeams. On her feet appeared glass slippers that sparkled like diamonds. But the fairy godmother's magic came with a warning. "You must leave the ball by midnight, for the spell will break, and everything will return to how it." Alara thanked her fairy godmother with all her heart, and with a joyful smile, she headed to the palace. When she arrived, the entire ballroom fell silent. The prince, who had grown tired of the shallow flirtations of noble ladies, was immediately captivated by Alara's grace and kindness. He approached her, and without a word, they began to dance, their movements as though they were in perfect harmony with one another. The other guests watched in awe, but Alara's heart was only focused on the prince, who saw her not for her beauty alone but for the warmth and goodness she carried within. They danced for what felt like hours, laughing and talking as though they had known each other forever. But as the clock began to strike midnight, Alara remembered the fairy godmother's warning. With a quick excuse, she fled from the ballroom, rushing down the palace steps. In her haste, she left behind one of her glass slippers. The prince, determined to find the mysterious woman who had captured his heart, ordered that the slipper be brought to every household in the kingdom. Only the woman whose foot fit the slipper would be his bride. The search lasted for days, and when the prince's guards finally arrived at Alara's home, her stepsisters eagerly tried on the slipper, but it did not fit. Alara, who had been locked in her room, heard the commotion and begged to try on the slipper as well. Though her stepmother tried to stop her, the guards insisted, and to everyone's astonishment, the slipper fit her perfectly. There, they were married in a grand ceremony, and Alara's kindness and beauty won the hearts of all who knew her. Alara and the prince ruled the kingdom with love and wisdom, their hearts always in tune with one another. And so, the kingdom flourished, and Alara, the girl who had once been treated as a servant, became a queen beloved.